These interviews bring up many important questions that persist despite attempts at academic and cultural reform. Students said that they felt embarrassed in the classroom when they were called on without raising their hand to answer a question that they could not answer. They said they felt like students from MVMS started TAM at a higher place academically than them. How can teachers best give students attention during class time and call on them without embarrassing them?
To what extent can the school offer support services to students to help them catch up to the grade level academically? Students cited programs such as Academic Workshop as effective because they serve as a place for students to get help and complete homework at school. However, they also cited instances where one teacher was not able to provide enough help to all students.
Given that students also discussed the struggle to build friendships with the larger TAM community, might such programs as Academic Workshop be improved by the addition of peer tutoring? This might both help students academically and cause them to gain friendships with other upperclassmen.
Given the lack of participation by African American students in programs such as drama, journalism, AIM, and others, might special outreach programs and/or classes be implemented to offer engaging but challenging work with the goal of both helping students catch up, creating pathways into these programs, and setting up students for future academic success?
When asked about how they felt about lack of black teachers at TAM, students said that while having a good teacher is the most important thing, an African American teacher could possibly help them feel comfortable because they could connect better with the teacher who could understand their struggle academically.
Students discussed how they would often avoid their teacher when they had not completed classwork. Sophomore Amari Allison and multiple students agreed that a solution to this problem could be meeting with their teachers at least once every 2 weeks to check in.
This will help them keep on track and aid in building closer relationships with teachers. Might there be ways to create more opportunities for teachers and students to meet, such as smaller classrooms, core tutorial, and/or additional programs?
Given that students talked about how students at lunch tend to arrange themselves by old friendships and who they went to middle school with, perhaps programs will be augmented and/or created to help form a stronger sense of community at TAM. Campus Supervisor Ralph Willison and math teacher Chris Irwin talked excitedly about the community-building effect Camp Everytown had on the students who participated in the program years ago before it was cut.
Might similar programs, particularly programs that take students off campus to bond, be implemented as standalone programs or summer extensions of core or the transition program? Students such as Kaisha Savers and Faith Watkins-Lewis, on and off camera follow-up interviewed, expressed frustrations with the transition program. Watkins-Lewis said the whole idea was cool, but as far as execution, it did not go well. Both students complained that they were not sure whether they were there to make friends or to be prepared for high school. TAM English and Transition Program teacher Chelsea Springer said off camera that while she believed the transition program was helpful to students, improvements could be made to better define goals and outcomes.
Students cited that the main thing they felt was valuable in the transition program were the relationships that they built with teachers, but that they did not necessarily give place for those teachers freshman year. Is there a way to build a system by which students are matched freshman year with teachers they had during the transition program?
The value of these interviews lie in the fact that they are entirely student voices and stories. While we acknowledge that there are limits to students' abilities to objectively examine their own education, students' perspectives should be an important part of any conversation in education reform.